set? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday, April 14th, 2009 joint meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Redevelopment Agency. Mr. City Clerk, could you call the roll for the council, please?
Council members Najarian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Yusefian.
Here.
Mayor Draymond.
Here.
And for the Redevelopment Agency, please.
Agency members Draymond.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Yusefian.
Here.
Chairman Najarian.
Here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kasakian. Could we hear your report, please?
The agenda for the April 14, 2009 joint public meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Redevelopment Agency was posted on Thursday, April 9th, 2009 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And could we hear the item at 1, A, B, C through F?
1A is public hearing, or at 1 is a public hearing, Director of Development Services and of Public Works regarding clean energy compressed natural gas CNG fueling facility to be located at 1713 and 1761 Gardena Avenue. At 1A is council resolution certifying and adopting a final subsequent negative declaration. At 1B is an agency resolution certifying and adopting a final subsequent negative declaration. 1C is a council motion approving a conditional use permit for construction of the gas station based on findings. At D is a council motion approving a standards variance to forego constructing a restroom facility and providing a refuse bin based on findings. At E is an agency motion approving a parking exception for parking space, aisle dimensions, and landscaping standards based upon findings and conditions. And at F is an agency motion approving combined Stage 1 and 2 final design submissions subject to comments and conditions from agency.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kasaki. And before we go to the item and the public hearing, let me turn to Ms. Van Meiden. If you can clarify, as a matter of housekeeping, we have 3 council items at A, C, and D, and we have 3 agency items at D, E, and F. Can you tell us if any of those can be combined ultimately and so on?
Sure, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. It's recommended that 1A and 1B be heard separately and first. Then 1C and D can be heard together by the Council, and 1E and F can be heard together.
Voted on.
Voted on.
And voted on.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Let me open the public hearing. It would seem absolutely fitting that I open the public hearing before we actually start the public hearing at least once during my term. So this will be that time, I think. All right. Very good. By the way, gentlemen, I have no speaker cards. Mr. Kasaki, are we?
None here.
We have none. All right. So let me go directly then to, yes, Mr. Yusefian.
I have one question, Mr. Mayor, if I may ask. I've read the report, but could somebody tell me when we put the pumping station, the actual compressor, on another property, when we put that on that property, did we keep in mind, because that's the property that later on we were planning on making that a repair facility? So it's located, so as we build a new facility, we don't have to relocate them.
That's correct. We actually ended up paying a little bit extra on our side to ensure that we had that set up for the future construction.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Quintero.
Obviously, the costs are less to have it above ground, to have the tanks above ground. But is that a safety concern? I noticed in the comments that some people were concerned about that.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Chair, members of the agency, the concerns that you've heard expressed regarding tanks that have ruptured or exploded have been the tanks on the vehicles. And
Well, that's reassuring. It's only on the vehicles and not.
And I was getting there. I was
Thank
getting there.
goodness for that. Well,
There are very few incidents that it has to do with the dispensing station. And the reason is that there are very specific prescribed safety and inspection procedures for the tanks and the vehicles. And unfortunately, oftentimes those aren't taken care of. And there are tanks that are damaged. There are tanks that aren't inspected properly. There are tanks that are used too long. I think most folks had heard about last month an accident in Pasadena. It's reported, although that's still under OSHA review, that was a 14-year-old tank. Our tanks have a 12-year limit. 12-year life, and we wouldn't go any further past that. But, as vehicles kick things up underneath, it's imperative that the maintenance aspect of it looks at those. There have been virtually no, and we have a representative from Clean Energy here who could speak more to that, virtually no incidents where you had the actual dispensing station. Because you're compressing and pumping the gas right out of the ground in its natural infrastructure. So it comes down to the vehicles, and then it's incumbent upon us to make sure those vehicles are properly maintained.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Zern while he's here?
Unless we need a report.
Well, let's see.
We've all read.
Najarian.
I have a question. One of the issues that came to my mind is that this is going to be an unstaffed facility.
Correct.
Yet open to the public. How can we make sure that the public, John Q. Public, who bought his first Honda CNG vehicle, or many different brands, is properly trained or properly educated in the correct manner to fuel the car, so there's no leakage, spillage, damage to our pumps, et cetera?
It's Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Najarian. It's actually at a certain point, and we might have staff can talk a little bit more to the specifics of that. Is there is training that goes with the procedures, but it is an unmanned station, so to a certain extent, you do have to rely on the ability of the people to take a look at that. I believe it's video camera.
There's a screen on the...
Come on up. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
If we could, in a
through.
general sense, I don't want to get into the
Just
minutia.
to answer that, there is a Jim, please.
So how can we make sure a first-time user is going to be able to properly fill his vehicle with CNG?
My name is Jim Sorensen. I'm the project manager with Clean Energy, and I've been in this business for about 20 years. So we've seen a lot of things come and go, but the fueling procedure is very safe. If you're familiar with a hydraulic coupling, a collar-activated device that holds the fueling nozzle onto the receptacle, all the fueler has to do is just take the fueling receptacle and push it on. It automatically locks. He has, before he can even activate the pump, he has to have passed a training video, and that's located on the pump itself. And then he's given a PIN number that he has to enter, which certifies that he's been trained on how to operate this. And once he does that, then it activates his credit card, and it just starts its procedures. And when it's done, it shuts itself off, and he just turns the valve off. It releases the pressure, and he decouples, and it's just as safe as can be. So it's very easy for the public to interface with it, and all the precautions that are required have been taken care of.
Is there a hotline, perhaps, where if someone has a real difficulty where they can reach
Yes.
Clean Energy or someone from our...
Located on various places on the property is a 1-800 number that's a call center. It's manned 24/7, which they analyze the nature of the call and then call the appropriate Clean Energy personnel to take care of it, so there's always someone available.
Yes, Mr. Yusefian.
On the PIN numbers, is that just one PIN number, or is it randomly changes all
It's
the
a
time?
discrete PIN number for that particular individual.
Just for that particular use? Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see, I have no speaker cards. I will close the public hearing. Mr. Weaver.
Move 1A.
Second.
If there is no further discussion, we have a motion on 1A.
For the council.
For the council, that's right. Well, 1A is a council resolution. Mr. Kasakian, let's call the roll.
Council members Najarian.
Yes.
Quintero.
Yes.
Weaver.
Aye.
Yusefian.
Aye.
Mayor Draymond.
Yes.
1B?
Second.
Motion for item
Agency.
1B, which is an agency.
The agency, is there a second on 1B?
We did.
Did.
Okay, then let's have roll call, please.
Agency members Draymond.
Yes.
Quintero.
Yes.
Weaver.
Aye.
Yusefian.
Aye.
Chairman Najarian.
Yes.
And then C and D can be taken as one motion.
Move C and D.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? There is none. Mr. Kasakian, please.
Council members Najarian.
Yes.
Quintero.
Yes.
Weaver.
Aye.
Yusefian.
Aye.
Mayor Draymond.
Yes.
Move E and F.
Second.
discussion on E and F? Roll call, please.
Agency members Draymond,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Yusefian.
Aye.
Chairman Najarian.
Yes.
Move to adjourn for the agency.
Second.
Agency's adjourned.
Move to adjourn for council.
Second.
Council's adjourned. Thank you.
Joint.